We have been traveling the rich fertile lands of Kenya, far and wide, across the highlands and lowlands of this beautiful country, talking to farmers wherever we go.
We want to give them the help and knowledge they need to improve their farming methods,
increase their income, and turn around their farms into good business for the future.
Join us and our experts on this journey and share their families' experiences as they make the changes.
Karibu to Shamba Shape Up Safari.
Being a farmer these days can really be hard work.
And sometimes there's so many problems you don't know which way to go.
So if you're feeling like that and you want expert advice,
welcome to Shamba Shape Up.
Nestling in the shadows of Gong Hills outside Nairobi are a number of small shambas. Many of the farmers here are in need of some good farming advice.
And that's where we come in. Meet George, Lucy, Boniface, Samuel, Lydia, and Mary, and little niece Wamboi. They've lived on the Shamba for 16 years and would love some expert advice on all their problems.
So now, George, what problems do you go through in your farm?
The main problem is on maize storage. I would wish to increase my yield.
What about your cattle?
Due to high cost of inputs, I'm not able to feed them properly.
So they must be very skinny.
Well, somehow, I wouldn't say very, but somehow.
What else do you grow?
Well, I also grow potatoes. It's also a problem because when there are no lanes and I have no method of irrigating, so I go without the potatoes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And whose chickens are those? I can hear chickens.
Those are my chicken, and I take them and I keep them to Mama's kitchen.
Lucy, what he's saying is true. He takes his chicken in your kitchen.
What
about you?
I wish to have an electricity because we are depending on paraffin and our time is very limited.
Like yesterday, we were solving problems in mathematics and our alarm go off and we go to bed. We didn't finish our studies.
How about Mary?
Okay, for me, my problem is in the kitchen. When I wash my utensils, I don't have that place to dry them after washing.
Wow.
Okay, good. I think we've listened to all those problems and we'll see what we can do about them.
We have experts who deal with the problems you have, especially in the farm. So I think we start right now, okay?
Yeah. Let's go do it.
Wow, that's quite a list. There is maize problems, cow problems, chicken meat looking at, there's a lack of light, a kitchen used as a hen house, and even problems with their potatoes.
Better roll up our sleeves and get started.
We don't pretend to know everything about farming, but we certainly do know experts who do.
And they're only a call from here to help George with all his problems.
And with our team at the ready to give a helping hand,
we are determined to leave this Shamba in a better state than we found it in.
The heart of a Shamba lies in the soil. Poor soil, poor crops. Simple. But there are always ways to improve the situation, as our soil and fertilizer expert Philip Karuri from IFDC well knows. Philip has brought with him the results of a soil test carried out earlier on George's soil.
How many bags of maize do you get from your farm?
Oh,
from 1 acre?
10 bags per acre.
10 bags?
Yeah.
By using the fertilizer, such as the one we have left you with, you can get about double that amount, 20 bags and more. Okay. The results of your soils we are not very encouraging. It's indicating that you have low phosphorus, potassium, which is also very high, which is not bad, calcium, which is also optimum, that is good. A lot of other things like magnesium, sodium are also very good.
Okay. What about manure? Don't manure have these elements that are lacking in the soil?
Manure is very important for your soils. But we don't know how much of the nutrients are in that manure. So you cannot depend on that manure if you want to return to give the soil the nutrients it needs.
Okay. What should I do
to correct this, we will recommend some fertilizers. As you can see from the bag, we have come with here is to show you is written 18-46-0. What that means, it has 18% of nitrogen, 46% of phosphate, and 0 potassium. Okay, George, I'll leave you with that bag of fertilizer and wish you well.
So, if you think your soil needs extra boost, it's well worth having it tested. Testing costs only a few shillings in the government laboratories and a bit more in private laboratories. Testing will enable you to apply the right type of fertilizer and the right amount. Soil testing should be done at least every 5 years.
So, George usually harvests 10 bags of maize per acre. By using the right fertilizer, he can double his yield to 20 bags per acre. 1 bag of fertilizer costs the same as 1 bag of maize. He used 4 bags of fertilizer, so he can harvest 16 bags of maize. George was telling us he was particularly anxious about his maize crop. So having tested his soil and advised on fertilizer, we invited Dr. Jane Ininda, Crop Improvement Officer from AGRA, to show him some new development in maize growing.
George,
No.
what seed do you use to plant on your farm?
I use 6 LS, that is 628, 614, 626, those varieties.
Well, that is good, but as you know, the weather has changed drastically in the last several years, and there has been a lot of frequent droughts coming, and you can see that we have this maize variety. It is good because it will mature in a shorter time, so that even if your rains fail, like because of drought or because of any other weather change, you'll be assured of a crop.
Okay, great.
I saw a lot of yellow leaves on the maize plants. That is called maize streak disease.
Maize streak.
It will drastically reduce your yield. But when you plant this variety, first it is early. Secondly, it will resist the disease. So you get a better crop and a higher yield. Maize is not always planted alone. So I also brought beans. These beans are very good also because beans make what we call nitrogen, which is like fertilizer, which fertilizes the maize as it grows. So you plant your maize, you plant your beans in between, and both crops will grow up very healthy.
What's the difference between this seed and what he was using before?
The one that he is using takes 6 to 7 months to mature. Like Lucy needs food, she cannot get the food early. She will have to wait for 7 months, but now she can get the food in 5 months. It's almost 99% germination. That's why when you buy this seed which is certified, you know it will germinate. So you just need to plant one. Do you have mobile phones, Lucy and George?
Yes, I do.
We want to send a message to KEFIS, asking them which variety you want to plant on your farm. Send a message to 5354. Type maize, put hash, and your name of the division is Deya. So put Deya and say send. And the message you get is the advice on the seed you need to use on your farm.
George and Lucy, you have an expert at the end of your mobile phone.
Yeah.
Phone it in, Bob.
Let's see what Jane recommends.
The first thing that you need to do when you are planting your seed is to make sure that the land is well prepared.
How do you do that?
You have to dig it, remove all the weeds, and level it. Mark out the first row for maize. Using a piece of string or a stick 30 centimeters long, mark the distance between each maize plant.
Add the recommended amount of fertilizer to each hole and then add a little soil, placing only one seed per hole.
Then mark out subsequent rows 90 centimeters apart. Between the maize rows, plant 2 rows of beans 30 centimeters apart. Beans should be planted 10 centimeters apart in the furrow. So next time, George, you get more yield. Then your kids grow more healthy and beautiful. More beautiful than they are now. That's right. A text to KEFIS might only cost 10 shillings. But what are the other costs when planting in this way? You will need to buy bean and maize seeds, but do look out for the KEFIS stamp of good quality. Then there's the fertilizers. Buy a variety recommended for the condition of your soil.
But this cost should increase your yield by at least half again. Not a bad investment for a good outcome. George and Lucy were lucky to have a tip-top crop expert advising them there. But what about their children's problems? All of them were anxious about the lack of light at night when they needed to study or work. I need to investigate. Okay, boys, you told me your biggest problem is electricity, right? So now show me where you do your homework. Whose house is this?
Mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So where do you study?
Here, I do my study.
Yeah, I can see you have a problem. This one we have to fix. Is your house as dark as your brother's?
Yes, a bit, because we don't have a light.
Is this where you study?
Yeah, this is the place where I study.
Yeah, it's dark.
Because we don't have light.
Hey, Mama. Came here to check what you're doing. It's dark in here, right?
Tũikaraga na ndume ĩno yothe ona tũtionanaga tũkĩrĩa twakagia icinga.
So you'd like some light?
No ngene mũno mũngĩkĩnjĩka ũguo.
Okay, let's see what we can do.
Thank you.
Okay, sawa. They certainly need some help here. So we called in Paul Njuguna, brand manager of d.light, to see what he could recommend in way of solar power.
Solar power is free. It's clean. It's brighter than kerosene. So I'd strongly recommend solar power for this household, because you need to keep on buying kerosene each time.
Right.
The fumes from the kerosene are not good for people around the light.
Right.
For reading, the light is not bright enough. And it's not good, especially for students, because their eyes will deteriorate in the long term and they tire very quickly.
Right.
Yeah. We call this a task light.
Right.
Because the light is very focused on a small reading area.
Right.
And very simple to use, because it's just one button on, and one button off. On a full charge, this will give you up to 4 hours.
How long does it take to charge, to fully charge?
We recommend a full day's charge. It has an overcharge protection, so it will never get damaged by being overcharged.
Right.
And where possible, face the panel towards the sun.
Okay.
For Mama, we have a different kind of lantern. First has a handle that you can move around, so you can hang it from the top. You can place it on a table. It's very multi-purpose. You can read with it.
Oh, so you can as well read with this,
Yes, you can also read with it. And it gives you a more rounded 360 degrees kind of light. So depending on what you're using it for, you could press the button once for a dim light.
Right.
Press it twice for a bright light.
Okay.
And press again to switch it off. Now,
great.
On the bright setting, the battery discharges a bit faster, so that will give you 4 hours, similar to this. And on the dim setting, it lasts for 8 hours.
Wow, 8 hours.
8 hours.
That's fantastic. I'd like 2 for the boys, 1 for Mama to hang in the kitchen.
Yes.
And another one, as big as this one, for the girls in the living room.
Absolutely. We have you covered, and we'll give you all the lights you need.
It seems solar power is best when it comes to convenience and health. And it's less expensive than you might think. Take a look at the d.light website for more information.
And don't forget, there'll be no nasty bills to pay once you have bought the light. And solar power comes free.
Solar power? Something of huge benefit for all the family, not just the kids.
As we can see with the solar power lamps, the sun has many positive qualities for the farmer. And one in particular is to help with the drying of the maize cobs before harvesting.
But George is not getting the best of his crop. So we invited Amos Karaoke, a crop agronomist from Syngenta, to the Shamba to see if he can help.
When do you harvest your maize?
We harvest twice a year. The first crop during the month of February, towards the end of February, and mini season in the month of September.
September.
Yeah.
Okay. You are supposed to harvest your maize when it's dry, because it ensures that you don't have a lot of work drying your maize.
Yeah.
The other thing that you are supposed to check is the color.
The color.
Yeah.
Is the color
this
bad?
One, the color is not bad. That one you can use it to feed your animals, or for your own consumption. But for the market, they want a pure white cob. This one is deceased, so you need to grade it up, remove this, and please don't give them to the cows.
And how do you know that the maize is dried properly?
You can do this.
So if it makes noise...
Yeah, sharp noise means... Yeah,
sharp noise?
Yeah.
It means they are dry?
They are dry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which method should I use to dry? Because I use canes and beat them.
Okay, George, that's what we have been using, but unfortunately with that, you are going to break a lot of them. But we have hard sheller. There's in the agrofet. You can use that hard sheller to shell your maize.
And it's quicker.
It's quicker. Yeah, and actually not get the broken grains.
So what is all this about dusting?
Dusting, we have what we call storage pests. You need to use an insecticide against the storage pests.
Like
weevils. Yeah.
The common storage pest is a doo-doo or weevil, which feeds on dried maize. It can substantially reduce your crop by feeding on your stock.
Let us go, George, and I show you how to do the dusting of your maize. Ready for storage.
However good the harvest is, it will be worth much less without dusting for doodles.
You have to put on your protective equipment, masks and gloves. Put your 90 kg bag on a canvas. After that, take good dust. After that, you mix it with a spade. After you have thoroughly mixed the dust with the maize, then you put it back to the sack. You need to cover it. You sew it, then you go and store it.
I'm glad George is getting his maize problem sorted. But we still have a lot more shaping up to do. I think it's time to sit down and take stock.
And I'll tell you what, that is better than kerosene.
Shine on me.
Ah. Coming up, will Amos approve of the maize storage makeover?
And will George's cows benefit from a new type of feed? It's a new day on George and Lucy's Shamba. There's still more expert advice to give.
We have tested George's soil and advised on the type and amount of fertilizers to apply.
And a top crop expert has shown how to plant maize and beans for higher yields.
We have also purchased some solar lamps for the children to study by and to light Lucy's kitchen.
And instructions on how to dust maize for doo-doos will help George's production to keep for a very long time so he can sell it when prices are good.
But having harvested the maize, we need to look at the next of his problems, that of storing it.
Okay, Bona George, this is where you store your maize. We have a lot of spillage. Yeah, these maize should not be there because they are going to attract rodents from outside.
Okay.
The other thing, you're not supposed to put them on the floor. Yeah,
why is that?
Because they are going to absorb moisture. You should sew them together, and then those sacks are too big, and actually the way they have been put upright is not the right way. They should be put side by side, down
horizontally.
in stacks, horizontally. Then you dust. Okay. So that's the way you are supposed to do on your stores.
George, we are going to do something about your store. First, we removed everything from the store and swept all the loose grain away. Then the bags of maize were sewn up so that bags could be stored on their side. Mwangi and his team set about making some pallets so the bags could be stored off the ground. The floor and the pallets were dusted for doo-doos before finally bringing in the bags and dusting them too.
While all this rough, tough storage action is going on to improve George's maize harvest, we are calling in another specialist to advise him on the best way to improve the productivity of his cows.
Meet John Mwangi, an animal production specialist from Coopers. He is just the man to improve the production of George's herd.
What do you feed with? Napier grass. When I don't have, I use maize stovers.
They are going to do urea treatment of your maize stovers.
Feeding it on animals?
Yeah. Because you know what? Urea will retain the protein that were lost, and nitrogen that were lost when the maize stovers were in the field, and also going to make the maize stovers soften such that it will be in a position that can be eaten well by the cattle. So you just need to go and chop it, and then you treat it and treat it so well. Then you shall put it for 7 days for fermentation, because it needs to ferment. Then after 7 days, you come and feed it. Then you can make several bags for several periods. You can feed that feed for the next 4 months. You can imagine.
What is the quantity that I should give to the animal?
Let's say like you give around 8 kilograms of feeds. You give around 6 kilograms of what you usually feed and introduce with the 2 kilograms of urea treated maize stovers. Also, you're going to see the response of the cows as they are eating. You can also now put it as 3/4 maize stovers and also quarter of what you have been feeding on. How much does your cow produce?
10 liters.
10 liters of milk. You can do better. With the treated maize stovers, you shall be in a position to increase your milk production to 15 up to 20 liters.
John goes on to show George the best way of mixing urea with maize stovers to get a better feed for his cows.
We have 10 kilograms of the chopped maize stovers. Then we prepare a solution of 10 liters of water and 400 grams of urea. Then we make that solution. Then we sprinkle that solution in that maize stover, that is 10 kg. Then we shall put them in a silage bag. Then we shall press it because we need something fermentation. Yeah, we compress kapsa because of something we call anaerobic respiration. That is fermentation without any oxygen. When you treat a urea, your maize stovers with urea, you mark the date when you have done it.
So what does it take to make this special fodder? Maize stover should come from the Shamba, but remember to chop it into small pieces.
Although urea and the plastic bag will cost you money, the return on increased milk output will make it well worth it. This size bag will hold 200 kilograms of treated stover, which can feed one cow for 15 to 20 days.
It will also improve the body condition of the cows while significantly increasing the milk yield, particularly in the dry weather. But remember to give other supplementation, since treated stover mainly provides energy.
Good for the cow
and good for the farmer. John then explains to George the importance of planting shrubs to provide an excellent source of supplementary fodder for his livestock.
The right fodder for cattle is very important if you want high yields and healthy animals. Our livestock expert, John, has already taught George how to enrich his maize stovers with urea. Let's see what he's going to say about fodder shrubs.
You know, coriander is used as a fodder, is a protein supplement for your cows. Secondary, you can use it to build a hedge. Coriander is a nitrogen fixing plant. That means that coriander makes fertilizers for the plants that you are growing. So you can intercrop it with maize, with other plants. Also, coriander can be used to make to have firewood in your house. Dry twigs like these ones. These are very good for your house. At least the mama can be in a position to make firewood and at least becoming, as you're plucking the fresh ones, the dry ones, you put them aside, at least he goes and makes a fire with them.
And it cooks for me.
And it cooks for you.
Now you have advised George to intercrop it.
Yeah.
Now, will it be harmful to other crops?
Oh, no. For your other plants that you're having, it will provide. So even instead of being harmful, it is being beneficial to the plants. There are some essentials that you should always consider when you're planting coriander. One, you should make a hole that is the size of at least 1 feet deep. At least to make a good surface area for root establishment. Then when you're planting, you should remove the topsoil such that the roots are on the second layer of the soil. Then you take up your manure, at least 3 handfuls of manure. Yeah, one more. Then you put some topsoil, then you mix. After you have mixed, then you pick up your plant, remove the outer polythene paper, and you put the root part of the plant on the mixture of the manure and the topsoil. At least water it for the next 5 days. At least for it to have good establishment of the root, and then it will be good for survival.
And how long does it take to grow or mature?
Within the first 3 months or 4 months, you can start plucking out.
In 4 months, you'll be smiling, George.
You'll be a smiling farmer. Yeah.
Now it's time to see if all the hard work on the maize storage area has paid off. Amos comes to check it out.
Okay, Mr. George,
Yeah.
I've seen you have improved your soil.
Yep.
Yeah, you have sewn your sacks. Actually, they're not open for dust.
Yeah.
They are off from the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see you can
Have I
put.
kept them well?
Yeah, you are supposed to keep them horizontally to create more space for your store. Also, I can see you have put pallets. They are off from the floor, and also you have swept whatever spillage that we had.
Are they dusted?
Yeah, they are dusted, as you can see. This one will help you to keep your maize for a long period, for food security for your family. And also you can sell them at a later date where you're going to fetch a better price.
The place looks clean.
Yeah, looks clean and actually more space to keep more maize. But he has a bumper harvest.
That's it.
Yeah.
I don't
Thank you.
expect
Thank you very much for
Yeah.
your advice.
Yeah, this is a job well done. Keep it up. Yeah. Thank you.
We cleaned, dusted and disinfected the walls and floor, put pallets on the ground, sewn up the sacks, stacked them horizontally and away from the wall, and dusted each layer thoroughly.
And the extra income George could realize for storing his maize correctly and not losing a third of his crop as he did before, for George, this could result in 30 extra bags of maize.
Money well earned.
Naomi, time is running out for us on this Shamba, and we haven't even looked at George and Lucy's chickens or potato crop problems.
You know, I think we'll have to pay them another visit.
You're right. We must return. After all, you have to make sure each and every Shamba we visit is well and truly shaped up.
But before we go this time around, there's just one last thing we have to do. That is, show them the benefits of solar power.
The kids are coming home from school. So let's see if the family really like their lamps.
Hey, Lucy. Hello. How are you doing? Do you like the lamp?
Muno tondũ nĩndĩrakĩona ũtheri. Ate nĩndĩragĩkuona ate nĩkũkũhambatĩria ndĩrahambatagĩria.
Okay, enjoy.
Nĩ wega.
Okay, bye.
Thank you.
And the kids at last can study at night.
I want to see them all become professors.
And even George is finding the lamp handy in the dark.
Good work all round. Thanks to Shamba Shape Up.
Wow, I've really learned so much on this Shamba. And the only way I can remember it all is by getting in touch with Shamba Shape Up, by SMSing them and asking for a leaflet that covers all what you've been doing. This is what you get. SMS the word below with your name and address to 5606 and we will send you the leaflet.